So, morning, we are getting settled. So, what I ask from you is to listen to understand and to think from within your heart. So, that's one of the standards in communication we use. Then we need to free our mind from fear, free our mind from doom thinking and other negative thoughts. Because we need a clear mind to open our mind to the information that we discussed. So when we have these standards of starting to consume this broadcast, it will be better digestible and it will be more clear and you will be easier to understand things than if we are just in a hurry and you pass by and you think, I need to know, and knowledge, knowledge, knowledge. It does not work that way. So when you have a clear mind, you listen to understand and think from within your heart, then it's easier to grasp the essence about the guidance. So when we freed our mind, then we are going to open our mind. And we are going to breathe. And breathing is the life force. So you can go specifically into breathing and explain all that. But to understand that it's important, because if you stop breathing, you got me. So we start to slowly breathe through our nose. So we inhale through our nose and we do that deeply. So slowly and deeply we bring our breath until the underbelly, where our key center is. When we did have a couple of breaths, we are going to place our hands together. So when we exhale through our mouth. So we place our hands together. To harmonize the yin and yang energies of our body. Then we are going to feel if we need to release some pressure from our chest. So sometimes, okay, we are able to clear our mind, yes, like emptying our mind, freeing our mind, and we think from within our heart, but there is something that we experience that we need to get off our chest, a certain situation. Then you just speak it out. You just speak out what is your irritation, frustration, and you get that off your chest. That is a responsibility to take. You do not need to specifically say that to somebody else. You can say it when you are on your own, but you need to get it off your chest. So when that's off your chest, you already get a little bit better in a relaxed atmosphere. So then you have a clear mind and a relaxed feeling, so you can decide on this point, am I going to lit a candle? Because to lit the candle with positive vibes and not the negative vibes that you were in, yes, is contributing to a larger circle of positivity. So you can decide in your positive vibe, oh, am I going to lit a candle now? Now I'm settled. Yeah, I'm going to lit a candle. Also, some incense, or am I going to use a smudge stick or doing some smudging? Yes, that's something that you need to decide now because that needs to happen before the following. So, when you have done that, you have decided to lit a candle and to lit a smudge stick, and you smudge a little, or you put some incense on. Then you are going to take form. So you're going to sit in a certain position or you're going to lay down for the next step. So I'm going to put my hands together and I'm going to ask Sue, please allow me to ask for divine light, love, and healing for the ones that are following my guidance. Thank you very much. So from that moment on, the sending is done. So my focus keeps on sending. Your focus is to be the receiver on receiving love, light, and healing. So you could say in your own words or follow me and say, Sue, please allow me to receive love, light, and healing. So when we inhale, you practice to inhale love, light, and healing. And when you exhale, you do an expression of gratitude. So it might be better, and this is what I was actually talking about before, and that is to reconnect. So let's go one step back. So after you did your candle and your incense, before you go into that receiving, you are going to reconnect first. So you reconnect first with the center of Mother Earth. So you let roots grow from your feet till the center of Mother Earth. Then you are going to reconnect with your inner self. Then you are going to reconnect with your higher self, if possible. And then you are going to reconnect with source, origin, Su. And that's quite a challenge because I'm aware that many people, needless to say the most, are disconnected, and clouds, dark clouds of karma, are actually distorting the light that you could receive. So after reconnection, or the intention to reconnect, that's what you need to do as a receiver, at least. Because if you are not willing to receive, you will not receive anything. So that's what we respect. So after reconnection of that all, we go into the receiving aspect of love, light, and healing. Inhale slowly until your underbelly, deep breathing, and slowly breathe out with an expression of gratitude. So you could be grateful for something simple like, Dear Mother Earth, thank you very much for carrying my weight. And the second time being grateful, you can be grateful. Thank you, Mother Nature, for the trees, for the forest, for the animals, etc., etc. And we breathe in slowly, deeply, slowly, and we exhale slowly. So let's focus on that for a while. Well, now if we are relaxed, we are also going to pick a word that we choose for guidance of the rest of the day. But first, look at the beautiful nature. This is the Grand Canyon, and how beautiful nature is. So, that said, now we are able, when we listen to understand and think from within our hearts, to grasp the essence of the following. So, after receiving love, light, and healing, we are going to be grateful for receiving love, light, and healing. So, that is a form to announce the end of the practice of receiving love, light, and healing. And you can say, Sue, thank you very much for receiving love, light, and healing. And then we can shift our focus to listening to understand and think from within our hearts. So we pick the word reciprocity. And the first time I learned about that word, I did not even know what it meant. So I asked, what does it mean? So it's common known as the giving and taking, but not the giving and taking kind for your greed. So, in other words, it was said the practice of exchanging things with others for mutual benefit. So, when we apply reciprocity in this practice of sending love, light, and healing, and to have the will to send love, light, and healing to others, and the receiving of love, light, and healing, and have the will to receive love, light, and healing, reciprocity is that naturally, after being a first stage receiver, so first you start with receiving because somebody was giving, sending. So you start as a receiver, and naturally, a desire will develop that creates the will to become a sender as well. So reciprocity can be applied when we are talking about giving, sending, spreading light, or receiving light. So after many times of receiving, one should feel obligated and take the responsibility to become a sender as well. So this is what naturally can form by will and the expansion of will. So if there is no reciprocity of the receiver, then there is a other will growing, and that has more to do with the selfish greed. But this has also to do if you can grow in that awareness to apply reciprocity. So when we take this word to the streets, and after this broadcast, we are going outside or we are going to experience other people, and we are still on the back of our heads focused on reciprocity, like the practice of exchanging things with others for mutual benefit, then you have a measurement that applies to reciprocity. So when you full handed, emptying your hands, and you go back home with empty hands, that's one experience. Then the next day or a couple hours later, you made your hands full again and you go outside and you go to give to others, making your hands empty again. Needless to say that when reciprocity is applied, you should not return empty handed every time. So you could measure that, yeah, if you are continuously empty handed on a certain location or with certain people, then it's good to arrive empty handed. So, reciprocity also gives you insights into the parasiting, leeching behavior that other people might have. Also, towards your energy, being in your light, consuming your light, draining you instead of enlightening you. So, around certain people, you feel drained. So, when you are the sender or the giver of love, light, and healing, and you get drained, then you could ask for reciprocity. And if that's not happening, you can decide to stay away, which is also my advice because they need a coin drop, but there is no reason for you to get drained. So after that experience, you can decide to give somebody else attention. And this is also attention with reciprocity applied is giving each other's attention. And let's say if two people are going to talk for an hour, then equally it's 30 minutes of attention for each person. So when we look to companies and a job, there is no reciprocity in time or attention. So you have spent 50 hours time, your attention to set the alarm clock to make your boss rich. But there is no reciprocity in time coming back. So when we zoom out and zoom in on the word reciprocity, it can be applied to multiple things. And your awareness can grow in understanding and also the functionality of reciprocity. So, reciprocity should actually be a standard of society where it is normal that where you take, you give. And it's best if you give first before you take. That should be a standard of society. So we also should think about how to contribute to the society and make the society mentally health again, to make the society shining again, to make the society like a fountain of awesomeness. We should not only be concerned about reciprocity when it comes to the material aspect or the business aspect of society. No, especially when a society is like a flower blooming, it has musicians on the street performing, it has artists on the street performing, like a mime or a statue or um, you know what I mean? The Joker. It has people being valued for their spiritual practice, for the enlightenment, the positivity that they bring. So when we see that the heart is taken out of society and we allow ourselves to go hand in hand with acceptance. Yeah, the society is getting rougher and tougher. That should be a no go and is only an expression of psychopath. So we need to make society more softer and soften our hearts. So this is an example and not completely perfect because I'm not able to do perfect. But this is an example about following guidance broadcasts where we first putting ourselves in a relaxed state of mind, then we are going to get things off our chest. We free our minds, we open our minds, we breathe, we receive flow of light and healing, and then we choose a word for guidance in the rest of the day and how it is applied by yourself and others. So I think that the seminar part at the end will be around 30 minutes. I think the settling down in the beginning will between 10 and 15 minutes. Um, the practice of receiving love, light, and healing, 15 minutes. So it's on and about going to be a 1 hour package of positivity to start your day. What can I say? Not only positivity, but the growth and awareness about how do these words apply to get more a specific essence of the meaning of the word. And sometimes, in addition, understanding the different spiritual meanings. Because words, when written, they can be read with the eyes, but are silent. The word spoken gets an energy, a vibration, because the word spoken is creating sounds. So let's take the last 5 minutes of this broadcast to come down and just breathe in and breathe out. So just breathe in all the positivity and breathe out with let it sink in. And then I will see you next time.